Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new series of Trance Design. I'm just kidding, guys. Hey, what's up? So, my name is Sans World. If this is the first video you're watching on my channel, then welcome to my channel. Sam World Music, Sam World with a 3. Who cares? We all know you're here for the sounds. So, pretty much today we're going to start a new series deviating, integrating, whatever, away from the sound design episodes that I run on Mondays and so forth, and we're gonna start creating more of a trance kind of thing. Personally, I'm more into trance. If you look at my first sound design Monday episode, they were mainly trancey to a point where everyone started, requesting the big room sound. So I kind of moved away from trance sound. So now I want to go back to it in a new series. So if you're here, that means you love trance. So congrats to you. I love trance too. It's my favorite genre. It's what I make for. I make music for. I make music for people in that genre. And, I hope to one day release my own music when I feel it's good enough. So today we're going to be talking about leads, plucks, and pads. So today we're going to be using Massive since it has a great envelope section that gives us a visual representation of what I'm going to be talking about. And today we're just going to focus a little bit on the basics. And then next week we're going to start creating sounds. So pretty much what I want to get off straight away is you're never going to get the right sound if you don't know how to get the characteristics of that sound to come out of your synthesizer. So most synthesizers have on their amp have an envelope. I like to call these the ADSR. ADSR. A stands for attack. D stands for decay. Sustains. S for sustain, sorry, and R for release. So here we can see we don't have a sustain. Our sustain is going to be set by the level knob here. So pretty much we have 4 phases in this when the sound is coming out. Okay, so we have our attack. We have a level for the attack here. Generally, we don't get that option because in the amp because you generally want the max volume. You don't want to have your volume knob all the way up and then you have in your mixer you have it all the way down here and it doesn't sound loud. Too much going on. So don't worry about the level knob. So here we have the attack, and as you can see, if I pull the attack all the way down, and if I were to bring up silent 1 as well, let's look for a bridge. Silent 1. Just put it open in your window. Okay. Here you will see the attack. It's like having it all the way down here. So let's go back to Massive. So pretty much here we have it all the way down. So remember, a low attack means the sound is going to come out instantly. So generally, low attack stuff is going to be stuff like a bass, a pluck, a lead that you just want it to be like straight away in your face. And that's great. But then for pads, you're going to want it high and so forth. So I'll get into that a little bit later in this video. Next, we have our decay portion. And pretty much what the decay is going to do, it's going to decide how fast it's going to get to the sustain or the level here in this case, okay? So if we go to silent 1, here we'll see we have a decay knob and then a sustain and then a release. So the decay knob is going to decide how fast it goes to the sustain level. So if we have the sustain all the way up, it's going to be at max volume. Sustain here, decay high, and so forth. So generally with your plucks, you're going to want the sustain down, and again, we'll get into that later. So decay is going to decide how fast it goes down. So if we go into Massive, our visual representation here, we have the decay, which is going to decide how long, see? And then we have our level, which is the sustain level. So you can have the sustain level all the way up, all the way down, in the center, and so forth, okay? So for right now, let's just have it all the way up. And finally, our last phase is going to be the release section. Now the release is going to decide how fast it goes back to 0 value. So here we have our decay set all like that. You're going to see the release here. The more to the right we put it, the longer it gets. So release is going to decide how long the song sticks around before it goes back to the value of 0. So it's the opposite of the attack, but they work in the same way. Okay, so hopefully that's a little quick rundown of that. So if we want to create a lead, generally you're going to want to ask yourself what kind of lead you want. You're going to want to lead with a pretty high attack, or you're going to want a lead that just comes straight out. Like if I were to play this right now, whoops, playing the silent. It's coming straight out, but if I were to put the attack up, you're going to see it gradually come in. So that's what the attack's going to do for you. So for leads, generally you want your attack set to around 8 o'clock or 9. or 10. I know Andrew Rayo has a lot of leads where his attack is pretty high, and you kind of hear the lead just come in, and it's a neat effect. If you're looking for that sound, then you're gonna have to put your attack around here, around the area of 10 o'clock. Your decay is gonna be decided by how you want it. Usually my decay is gonna be set at 12 with the level down. So if you're gonna be creating a lead that's gonna be sustained playing a melody where you're gonna sustain the notes, you're gonna want your level up. But if you're not gonna be doing that, it's just gonna be notes, then you want it all the way down, and what that's gonna do, you're gonna hear that. It's gonna go away. So there we go. So that's a nice lead there, and then we can increase the release. Kind of neat. Higher. And now once we have our envelope, let's say this is a characteristic for the lead we want, then we can start fucking with the oscillator. So let's do a saw, increase that to 5 o'clock, pitch at 5. We're gonna route that all the way to 1, increase this to 1, let's add a low pass 2 and leave it here. That should be fine. Now let's put an oscillator to another saw, and let's leave that. Now let's have another saw. Let's set that at 3. Actually, let's go down to -12 so we cover a bit. I don't like that, so let's go back to 0. Let's put a little square in this. Low pass 4. What I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna apply an envelope to these, the cutoff here. I'm gonna go to envelope 4. I'm gonna increase the attack a little bit more. A little bit less. I'm gonna increase the sustain level a little bit more. Okay, so now what I can do is add a little bit of white noise. I like to use the bright noise because it covers of a higher frequency. Okay, so now we're going to the voicing section. We're going to be putting like 3. So it's going to get really loud. Let me turn this down a bit. Lowering the level because I don't want it to be a sustained thing. I'm going to lower the attack. It's sounding weird when you play chords because we have the pitch set to 5 here. So what I'm going to do is just lower that to 12. Increase that to 12, sorry. So that way we can play chords. Sounds really beautiful there. I really want more of a release from this, so. Let's see. Okay, so it's sounding pretty good. What I'm gonna be adding is some reverb now. Let's just see how it sounds with it on. And now we're gonna add what's missing, and that's gonna be some detuning. So pitch cutoff here. You can't go wrong with detuning saw waves. Next, we're gonna turn pan position on, and we're gonna set it to full, so it sounds bigger. Okay, let's increase the dimension expander. We could add some delay, but I know Ableton has a really great delay, so we're gonna add a dimension expander to this. It's gonna make it bigger. And next we're gonna add an LFO to the pitch of oscillator 1. We're gonna set that by 10. And we're gonna increase that to around here, 2 o'clock. Next we're gonna add it to oscillator 3, -10. Let me open a piano roll so you guys can see what I'm playing. Cool. Okay, now we can start adding more stuff to create this lead. I mean, we could pretty much add a simple delay here, just a little bit of it. Okay, so let me cue. Let's get rid of the low. Sounding pretty good. Next thing we can do is start adding maybe one more 5 unisono. Let's lower the volume a bit though. Sounding pretty cool. Pretty much here we can start doing a lot of things. I mean, what I could do is probably increase this, increase the resonance, or add a filter to the resonance. Get a little bit more creative with stuff. By a little bit, I'll increase it all the way up. That's gonna do. We could put a square. Start playing pretty cool. I could pretty much keep going, but this is how generally I would create a lead. A lot of the sound design thing is that you need to know what you're aiming for. So, like, pretty much, let's say you want a saw lead and you know you got your saws to go to. You can go with side length 1 or massive. But the most important thing you want to know is the characteristics of the sound. So for envelope 4 here, we have this set to be our characteristics. So this lead has the characteristic of a low attack, a decent high decay, low level sustain, and medium high release. Okay, so now let's initialize. Actually, let's just use this patch to create a pluck. Now a pluck is going to be way different from this. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the attack all the way down. We're going to set the decay all the way up and a level all the way down. So this is going to be our sustain, the level. And our release is going to be set low. Now what's going to happen is when we play a note. Sorry, wait up. Let's do that. There we go. We have our decay low, so as we start putting up, you can see it's gonna let the sound come out more. There we go, and put it a little bit more higher. And then we can put it more up. higher. So it sounds pretty cool. More higher, we can start creating stabs. Pretty cool stuff. So that's how you would go in creating a pluck. So pretty much put your decay all the way down and start putting it up slowly and playing notes. And you start getting that pluck. And then what you can start doing is adding different stuff. So that's how you would create a pluck. Now let's use the same sound, and let's create a pad. So the characteristics of a pad is gonna be a high attack. Sorry, ooh, my computer froze. So a high attack, and then the decay is gonna be set up release high. Okay. So let's see. My keyboard's not working. Use my So we're gonna get rid of these LFOs because they're gonna really affect everything. So we kind of want it to be down here. Higher attack. Release. And then next we want to put the cutoff a little bit lower. Get rid of the white noise. And then you can start putting cutoff up. So a pad's gonna have really high attack and a high release. So what that's gonna do is the pad's gonna take a little bit longer to come in, and it's gonna stick around longer. And generally that's gonna give it the feel of a pad, the attack and the release. Generally with pads, you don't want the cutoff all the way up because you want a pad to kind of be filtered, and it gives that sense of atmosphere and it gives it of openness, you know. So a pad, you generally go with chorus, add effects, and so forth. So hopefully this video was helpful in a way. I know I got a little bit carried away with the lead, but hopefully it teaches you a little bit about sound design, and hopefully you guys can go start creating your own sounds. Again, it's all experimenting. I think the most important part is just knowing the characteristics of your sound and knowing what waves are going to get you that sound. So today we just used simple saw and square wave to create a lead and a pluck and a pad. As you can see, with the same patch I was able to create a pad and a pluck. So it's not that complicated. The complicated begins when you start trying to create unique leads that deviate away from what's big and what's, you know, the trend. Anyways guys, I hope this was helpful. Next we're going to be creating some more trance sounds. This time we're going to do the same format as Sound Design Mondays, and hopefully you guys learned something from this tutorial. I'll see you guys next time.